Going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back. And I do appreciate the support. This is my third take on this video because my mic keeps dying. But anyway, the train keeps rolling. And I'm going to talk about a story one of my moderators sent me earlier this week. But I didn't have a chance to look at it. And so shout out Jeremiah, bro. I know you sent me the video. And I seen it, but I had a lot of other stuff on my blotter to do, videos. So I'm getting to it now. Now, when I first saw this, honestly, I was like, oh, this is fake news because I didn't recognize the network it came from. But evidently, there's some truth in this. And I'm not surprised by this at all. And I think a lot of you guys aren't either. It's just upsetting that the amount of war crimes that go on daily across the world don't get a lot of recognition. And this one right here happened in the 90s. But now an investigation has been launched and it's come back to light. And what I'm talking about is the Sarajevo sniper shootings or safari that they supposedly had. Now, this was in the 90s. A lot of you guys remember because I was a kid still. And I remember this conflict out there in, Bosnia-Herzegovina conflict in which the military partly took over the capital, and there was a lot of shooting, a lot of innocent people got killed. And what's crazy about this is one of my former employees for the business I ran was in that conflict, and he was explaining a lot of stuff to me. And a lot of those people that were refugees from that were transported over to America and live presently today, hopefully in safer conditions. But I mean, this whole thing is not surprising me at all. And I'll explain that when I come back after showing you some of the footage that they have out. And it's just upsetting because they're saying now that rich people went over there and paid big money to shoot innocent men, women, and children from the countryside as snipers to see what it is to be in a wartime situation. The cruelty and inhumanity of man towards each other has no bounds. And this will prove it to you. Take a look.
A jaw-dropping claim that rich foreigners paid to shoot humans in Sarajevo in the 1990s, when the city was in the middle of a violent and chaotic military blockade, has sparked an investigation by Italian prosecutors. The stunning allegations come from an Italian writer who alleged he had uncovered evidence that wealthy gun enthusiasts, dubbed sniper tourists, would pay Bosnian Serb forces for the chance to gun down residents at random during the 4-year siege of the city, The Guardian reported. Rich foreigners allegedly paid upwards of $90,000 to shoot people during human safari trips to Sarajevo in the 1990s, with an extra fee to kill children. There were Germans, French, English, people from all Western countries who paid large sums of money to be taken there to shoot civilians, said Ezio Gavazzani, the investigative writer. There were no political or religious motivations. They were rich people who went there for fun and personal satisfaction. We are talking about people who love guns, who perhaps go to shooting ranges or on safari in Africa, he said. Gavazzani claims he first read reports of the alleged tourist-led shootings in Italian media outlets in the 90s, but started digging deeper after watching a 2022 documentary about a former Serb soldier who claimed foreigners would shoot at residents from the hills in Sarajevo. He claims a key source was a former Bosnian intelligence officer. His shocking allegations have now led to a newly launched probe being led by prosecutors in Milan. The investigation is seeking to identify any Italians involved in the so-called sniper tourism. Gavazzani said he had already uncovered the identities of some of the Italians allegedly involved in the massacre, and they are expected to be questioned by prosecutors in the coming weeks. The Bosnian consulate in Milan said the Bosnian government would offer total collaboration amid the probe. We are impatient to discover the truth about such a cruel matter. In order to close a chapter of history, I am in possession of certain information I will be sharing with the investigators, a spokesperson said. More than 10,000 were killed in Sarajevo by snipers and shelling between 1992 and 1996 during the Balkan Wars. Sarajevo, the capital of Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, was under siege during that time period, marking the longest modern siege of a capital city, during which citizens were subjected to atrocities, including bombings and heavy fighting.
Surrounded by mountains, Sarajevo once became a sniper nest during the siege of the city in the 1990s. Thousands of civilians were shot from these very hills, then held by Bosnian Serb forces. Now it's alleged some of those bullets were fired not only by soldiers, but by foreigners who paid to come here for the pleasure of shooting and killing people in the city.
Quello che possiamo dire è che
What we can say is that there were certainly civilians who shot at the people, at the population of Sarajevo, paying for this kind of activity.
A complaint filed in Milan by Italian author and journalist Ezio Gavazzani claims wealthy Italians travel to Bosnia and Herzegovina on so-called sniper safaris.
io non posso fare i numeri.
I cannot give numbers here, but we're talking about quite a number of individuals.
Witnesses describe how the so-called shooters from several countries made their way here. They flew from Trieste to Belgrade, transported by Yugoslav army helicopters to Pale, the wartime headquarters of Bosnian Serb forces, before being driven into the hills above Sarajevo. Different fees were reportedly charged depending on whether the victim was a man, a woman, or a child.
The people I saw were certainly not ordinary people. They were people in high positions, and from that side, they were also protected.
Gavazzani says he revisited the case after watching a documentary co-produced by Al Jazeera that exposed claims of foreign involvement. Among the evidence is testimony from a former Bosnian military intelligence officer who documented earlier reports of so-called war safaris that came from a Serbian prisoner of war.
Of course, there are documents about this. I remember at least 3 of them. One is the record of his interrogation, another is the record of the follow-up interrogation, and the third is an analysis I prepared, which explained the phenomenon of the war safari, a term mentioned for the first time on the Sarajevo battlefield.
Bosnian authorities say they launched an investigation 3 years ago, but it appears to have stalled.
3 decades after the guns fell silent, Sarajevo is still demanding answers. Who came here to kill for pleasure? Who helped them? And why, after all this time, if this alleged crime was committed, is justice still waiting? Ardoana Pribinja, Al Jazeera, Sarajevo.
Hey guys, there it is. They launched an investigation out there in Italy. Multiple people became casualties of war in a conflict they didn't ask for. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is nothing new. It's not surprising. It is horrific. It is heartbreaking. It is sad. But war and conflict is in man since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you. In the next 20 years, America's going to be something like that if they don't do something about it. Because, hell, we already seen mass shootings and people getting killed by somebody, some whack job that jumps off of the ledge of reality and then makes victims of people that they don't even know because they have internal struggles within themselves, and all of a sudden they hate humanity and hate life. It's upsetting. You know, that second video I showed was showing people getting shot. And I just was like, I was teetering whether I should show that or not. But I mean, damn, sometimes, a lot of times you got to rip the Band-Aid off and show people the reality of what's festering underneath the bandage. It's just upsetting. But I mean, you know, they're doing a probe in this. They're saying some of the people was from over here, which I believe. If you guys remember that movie Hostel, I think that was the movie Hostel. They might not have been Hostel. It was movies like when Hostel came out around that time. There were all these different movies where rich people were paying to go on safaris and hunt people and stuff. I think Ice-T was in Surviving the Game. Remember that movie, Surviving the Game? They all these movies came out, you know, en masse for a certain time era. You know why? A lot of times what you see on movies is in the background of what people know that'll probably come out later on. And I think it has something to do with that. Seriously. Ain't no way people are thinking something like that and then all of a sudden it really happened. Those type of crimes. Do you know how many people out here wish they was in the military and all this other stuff, and people join the military and the first thing you ask them, why you want to be in the military? Oh, I want to kill. How many people have a bloodlust inside of them that you don't even know? A lot of them live next door to you. Hell, serial killer next door. The typical thing that happens out here. You never know somebody and their dark interests inside. But I mean, this is just crazy. said they would pay extra to kill children. Could you imagine that? You're already in a war-torn situation where every time you go outside, you don't know if you're coming back or not, but you got to go out there to go get food or go get whatever. You know what I'm saying? And when your children are playing in the yard, you think they're safe because ain't no soldiers around, and boom, one of them gets their head taken off. That's horrific, but it's just a reality. Violence is big money, whether it's shown in movies, boxing, contact sports, or just taking care of people that do this type of stuff and incarcerating them. There will never be an end of any type of real violence or evil in the world, because the balance of life, it's a part of it. Actions and reactions. But I mean, this type of stuff happens and will continue to happen. And I think at the end of this whole thing, it's going to be too late when time comes to really stop it. See, it ain't affecting nobody's pockets right now. Until it does, then you'll start seeing something done about it. And when the hammer's dropped, a lot of people are going to get hurt. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Take care.